Father Jones from St Peter's Church, unfortunately is away on holiday. John James is away on holiday. Chancellor Emma Jones cannot be with us this evening, though she wishes as well. John Biggs, unfortunately previous meeting. Jim Patrick, unfortunately previous meeting. Apologies over it. I'm now going to call Councillor Ethan Desire to inform you about the legitimisation of what we're going to go into. Thank you.
Sorry, we didn't actually introduce yourself.
Yes, please.
Okay, everybody. My name is Councillor Stephanie Eaton. I'm a councillor for Bethnal Green North, so this is not my part of Tower Hamlets. And I have to say at the beginning, I'm not an expert on setting up community or neighbourhood or parish councils or town councils because they're a brand new thing. Since 2007, London has been given the power to set up new community councils, and there are powers within the legislation to call it whatever you want. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that if we manage to get one up in Wapping, it will be the first in London, so that will be a terrific achievement for everybody. Now, of course, we're not sure whether that's what everybody who lives in Wapping and St Catherine's actually wants. So at this stage, we're just looking at the process that will set the ball rolling to make sure that local residents are consulted about whether or not we should have a community council at all, and if so, what that community would look like, what sort of powers it would have, and how those powers would be paid for. Because obviously one of the things that really will concern people is whether they're going to have to pay extra money in the form of a precept to run something like a community council. So the powers, if I can just look at my notes here, come from the 2000 Local Government and Community Involvement in Health Act. Now that's a horrendous piece of legislation, it's quite large and obviously very technical. But basically it gives local communities the opportunity to define a particular geographical area, and it makes sense in a borough like Tower Hamlets to use the ward structures that we've already got. But it could be one ward, it could be a lap area made up of 2 wards, for example, depending on what local people want. So that some powers can be devolved from the town hall to local communities. Now, where we are now in Wapping is almost as geographically as far as it's possible to be from the town hall in Mulberry Place in East India. So decisions that affect all of the people living here are taken a long way away in Mulberry Place. Now that's fine because you've got 3 local councillors representing you in St Catherine's and Wapping, and you hope that those people are in contact with you, you can talk to them and they can represent you. But wouldn't it be even better if a group of local residents could themselves make decisions about things like planning matters, about stuff like parking, whether you want parking arrangements relaxed on a particular day of the week or around a particular area. Wouldn't it be great if you had the budget to perhaps buy additional PCSOs to deal with antisocial behaviour in your area? There's the wonderful bird, the Wapping War Memorial, which I'm sure you all know on the river. It's repeatedly vandalised and scratched, and it's got postcode numbers in it. And it would be fantastic if this local community, I think, had the power to set in place CCTV cameras or any other form of security that was needed to protect that memorial, which shows great respect to the civilians who were fighting and protecting this country in the Second World War. So the new legislation, 2007, so it is only recent, gives local people the power to do this. And that power is triggered by a petition. So there are petition forms I know floating around the hall tonight, and obviously if you feel inclined, you're welcome to sign it. The petition, I've signed it even though I'm not actually eligible, and my vote won't be counted. It has to be signed by 10% of people living in a local area. So that's around 1,600 to 2,000 electors of St Catherine's and Wapping. That doesn't create a community council. All that does is trigger what's called a governance review. It's all hideous local authority jargon. But a governance review means that the borough, Tower Hamlets, is required to have a look and to consult with the people of St Catherine's and Wapping to ask you how you want to run your part of the borough, how you want to run your ward, whether you want to take in powers over planning, or whether you're happy for them to remain at Mulberry Place, whether you want to have control over the parks and gardens budget for this area, or whether you think that's done well enough centrally. So this governance review, which takes about 12 months, there's a target that has to be delivered by 12 months. It's done in a very public way. Obviously lots more meetings, a lot more public engagement about what local people want. And then the borough will make a recommendation based on the consultation that it has from local people and local businesses as well, who obviously have a stake in this area. So at the end of that 12 months, a decision will then be taken about whether a local neighbourhood council, whatever we're going to call it, town council is set up, and how that will be done. Then there'll be elections, and people can obviously stand to represent their local area, and the criteria for that will be somebody who lives or works in the area. As I say, I'm not an expert on how this will be done, but that's the basic setup. The idea is that local people will have decisions about the streets and the environment and local amenities that directly impact upon them. Most of you will know that we're moving in October to a directly elected mayoral system for Tower Hamlets. So instead of having a leader and cabinet, as we currently do, we're going to have a directly elected mayor in October. Now that will mean that one person, the mayor of Tower Hamlets, will have control over the borough's whole budget, £1.2 billion. Now that's a big job. That person will be responsible for something like 200,000 people and 17 wards, so St Catherine's and Wapping and 16 other wards in the borough. Now I think if local people want to try and devolve some of those powers away from that mayor, this is a mechanism which gives you that opportunity. Now, it's not for me to decide whether that's the right thing for St Catherine's and Wapping. It's for local people to decide that. But if you think that having certain powers and responsibilities over your local area is going to make your local area better for you, and we have enough people in the community, as I'm sure we do, who are willing to invest the time and the effort and the energy to do that, then that's what I think we should do. We should go ahead and at least explore that. It will be some time before anything can happen, because we'll have this governance review at which everybody is willing to give their opinions, and there will be some people who think it's a terrible idea, and we'll have to take their opinions on board as well. But it offers the opportunity for local people to make decisions about the area in which they live. Personally, I think that's a good idea. As I said, it's not up to me, up to the people of St Catherine's and Wapping. I may not be able to answer everybody's questions about everything,